that the corporate clients like to get good advice. And you think, well, we're basically applying the Taxation Act. We're applying company tax to this particular set of circumstances. And from a client's perspective, you can think, well, that's all the same. How is that different? Today, this is Peter Anthony from NextGenX Professional for Accountants, and today joined by my partner, Damien Andrews. How you going, Damien?
Yep, partner in multiplication and addition here for accountants. And today we are really addressing the topic of commoditisation of services, which when you think about accounting, it becomes difficult to differentiate yourself, and especially with the market now, there's increased competition, certainly both within Australia and globally as well, and that leads to a standardization of services. One service from one firm, the customer perceives that same service, or another firm providing that same service, which then makes it difficult for you to actually compete and attract that customer unless you're working on price, and that creates margin pressures. You don't want to be doing that, and that's some of the challenges that they face. What are other challenges that it causes problem, Peter?
Yeah, well, if you think, I mean, firms engage accounting firms for different purposes. If you think it's a taxation issue, often an issue that the corporate clients like to get good advice. And you think, well, we're basically applying the Taxation Act. We're applying company tax to this particular set of circumstances. And from a client's perspective, you can think, well, that's all the same. How is that different? Or it could be a restructure. It might be a refinancing. It could be getting private equity partners involved in the firm. There could be any number of environments where a client might want to engage you. And from a client's perspective, uh, a lot of accounting and financial services firms look very much the same. So that's the problem. And as the market gets bigger, and as there are more firms competing for these clients, from the client's perspective, that they become more and more the same. And in most markets, competition tends to gravitate towards the centre of the marketplace. But what's probably more interesting for people, though, Damien, is what are some of the things that you'd recommend accounting firms can do to address this issue?
Well, certainly, Peter, there are a whole raft of things that people can do, and one of them is focusing on education-based selling, and that's where we're looking at how are you putting your message across in a way that actually educates the potential client or even your own clients, so you keep them on board as well, that you can show the differences between what you are offering and the rest of the market. And then the presumption there being that you actually have a value-based selling proposition as well, showing how you are different in the market. What is the value that you offer that creates that separation from other firms? What other ways can people do that, Peter?
You know what just came to mind, Damien? Chimpanzees.
What are you flinging here, Peter?
Well, I was watching an Australian Geographic documentary with my daughter recently, and they was saying that we are only like a couple of percent, can't remember, 2 or 3% different than chimpanzees in terms of our DNA, where we are more like a chimp than not like a chimp. And you think, well, um, if you think from a client's perspective, yeah, the accounting firms are very much the same, but
Mm,
it's the difference that makes the difference. The difference that little bit of DNA that makes us different than chimps makes us human and keeps them chimps. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm a big accounting firm, I would like to be regarded differentiated, and what we'd like to do with you is to help you focus on that 2 or 3% that is the difference that makes the difference, and that's likely going to be your ability to uniquely understand them in a way that's valuable that competitors can't replicate. So
mm.
perhaps we've got a new strategy, Damien. It's the chimpanzee strategy.
I love
So
that strategy, Peter, because and that links into the analogy with Roger Federer as well, number one world tennis player for a long, long time. However, the difference that made the difference was when he was not ranked at all, he had a winning shot ratio of something like 54%. So in a match, he'd win 54% of the games he played. When that went up to 56%, he was number one. So that small little percentage, like you're talking about, that little difference makes a massive difference in the results you're getting. So I love that chimpanzee analogy, and I'm going to throw my own Roger Federer on in to join with that. But it is really for if you're listening and wanting to make that difference, it is that little 1 or 2% difference that will separate you from the market and enable you to create that differentiation so that your services aren't just lumped in with everybody else's and then you're competing on price. If people want to learn more, Peter, how do they reach out to us?
Well, they can reach out to you directly, Damien, or me directly. Our contact details are at the end of the video, or check out our website. You'll find a ton more information about NextGen X Professional for accountants. We'd love to talk to you and understand how we can help you and how we can potentially be the difference that helps you make a difference in growing your clients.